So in the previous segment of this video, we did a dry test on the case, which consisted of putting a paper towel inside of the case and dunking the case inside of a glass tank filled with water and seeing if the paper towel still remained dry afterwards. And the dry test was successful in that the paper towel was dry afterwards. Now, instead of a paper towel, we're going to be using an iPad. However, it is recommended that before you put your iPad inside of this WaterGuard case, you want to first do the dry test procedure that we described earlier. Now we're going to do it with the iPad, as I mentioned earlier. So first we're going to open up the case and undo the two layers of secure seal. First we're going to turn on the iPad's already turned on, so we don't have to do that. Now we're going to slide it into the case, and you really want to make sure that we've secured the seal. Make sure we hear the popping sounds on both layers. We don't want our iPad broken once we've dumped it into water, so once we've heard all the popping sounds, and we can't make any more popping sounds, that indicates that we've securely fastened the seal. And now we can go ahead and fold the seal in and Velcro up the case. Make sure the Velcro is folded on tightly, and then we're going to do the two buttons. Now that we have the iPad securely sealed inside of the WaterGuard Plus Waterproof Case, we're going to dunk it into this glass tank of water, and we're going to see if the iPad still works. So as you'll see, when we dunk it into water, sometimes the screen changes, and this is not something to worry about. It just reflects the fact that the case is being acted on by water pressure, which is essentially mimicking interactions on the surface of the case. It's as if a person were touching the case.
What's happening for them? Hey, you know, when people like me and you,
and as you can see already,
we get excited, but that's no
the
reason
iPad is still working
up and down
perfectly.
the aisle.
A YouTube video is playing already, so we can basically see already that the iPad has survived this test. So now that the case is out of glass tank, we're just going to dry the outside of the case, just to make sure that once we take our iPad out of the case, it isn't damaged by any water that is still remaining on the exterior of the case. So we also want to make sure we get the inside flaps too. So that includes the two layers of secure seal and the Velcro, the buttons, all of that. And now we can go ahead and open up the case now that it's all dried up, and we can see whether or not the iPad still works. Now one thing I would like to mention is also when you're doing the dry test for the iPad and you're putting a paper towel inside of the case, you also want to dry up the case before you take out the paper towel, just to avoid any confusion about water possibly on the exterior getting onto the paper towel. Now, as you can see, the iPad is perfectly intact. We can interact with it perfectly fine. So the test is successful.